Whoa, here we go. Hey, we are live. This is awesome. You are here on the chain. You're in the room with the Huddle Review. This is Jeff. We got a lot to talk about today. And what's really amazing is that we've seen over the past days, we're starting to see green, green, green across the board within the crypto digital asset space. So I got my phones over here beeping. Uh, so this is what we want to cover. We want to look at what's going on with XRP, what's going on with BTC, what's going on with ETH, what is going on in this space right now, what is the impetus behind this big boom that we're seeing over here with with XRP. And I think that is really the exciting part because after all this time, we're finally starting to see some big movements, and that's significant. When you start seeing bigger and bigger movements in this space, man, it just draws more people. And there's tons and tons of talk out there right now, whether it's over in the Philippines, whether it's over coming out of China. We know we've talked about that incessantly, about China with their CBDC. But now, as we see, the Philippines getting serious, Japan's getting serious. We saw Thailand was getting serious before. We know what they were doing, over in Europe and Sweden and elsewhere. There's a lot of discussion right now going on in the U.S. about digital asset investment, the digitization of the U.S. dollar, of the currency. So we're going to talk about all of that right after this. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, there we go. And we're back. Hey, guys, do me a favor, of those of you who are jumping in the chat at this moment, if you can do me a favor and tweet this out, that'd be outstanding. I think we're streaming over on Periscope/Twitter right now. So this is the theme of the day today. So let's make that happen. All right, I see Farshad has already bounced into the room with some chats. Good morning. Great to see you here. So, hey, check this out. The first thing, I want to look at a couple different things today as we go through this. But I think the exciting part, oh, there's, what's up, Lionel? The theme of today, there you go. That's the theme of today. So here we go. Let me add a little something to the stream. I thought this was interesting. This is coming from XRP charts, and it's changed since since I pulled the screen up here. But I wanted to hover over here and kind of take a look at the XRP to USD trading pair reported back from Bitstamp. Incidentally, Bitstamp was one of the first that I actually used when getting XRP, as I believe a lot of other people had as well back in like 2017. So, what's up, Michael, all the way in from the UK? That's awesome. But what we're looking at here, and what's amazing is that just a minute ago, we saw this one trading at 27 cents. So XRP at 27. You see to the euro at 0.22. The key here is that we're seeing some big changes. Look at this. You see a 9.9% change XRP to the US dollar, and more. And it's amazing. It's just across the board. We're starting to see some interesting things happening in the space, reactionary to what's happening globally from an economic perspective, highly probable. And so that's one of the things that I wanted to really dive into. It'd be interesting to get some feedback as we go through the discussion here. So let's see here. All right, one of the first things that I wanted to dive into is going to be what's going on over in the Philippines. Oh, there we go. Lionel, custody was the key. bullish since then. Yeah, I think we're starting to see some interesting changes in the landscape. Before we get into that, if you guys haven't seen it yet, make sure that you guys go and check out, our video that is on the other channel, that we did with Kuris Wang. We posted that yesterday on the other channel, and it's interesting because I'm just looking for the video here to give you guys just a brief glimpse. Let me back up. Hang on a second. So this one, it was interesting because one of the things that we had asked him about specifically was, here's the video right here. So check this one out. 1.5 million users with Kuris Wang. If you guys go check this video out, I think you guys are going to get some interesting feedback on what's going on and what they're up to. And it's interesting why. Here we have a digital asset exchange, and he's talking about banking. We talked about banking, so make sure you guys go check it out. It's on our other channel. So there's two channels. We have On the Chain and On the Chain Live. On the Chain Live is where you guys are right now. The reason why I want you guys to go check that out primarily is because we are talking about, and listen to the whole video, but as you get towards the end, it's not that long. It's like 30 minutes or so. But as you get towards the end of the video, we start talking about banking, and why is Bitrue getting into finance more outside of just the digital asset space. So it's really interesting as he starts talking about banking. And I've posed this question, multiple times when we had Alex Mashinsky on. Make sure you guys go and check that video out as well. Go back; it's on this channel. But we have 3 videos with Alex Mashinsky from Celsius. There's one posted on the Chain channel, and 2 that we posted on the Chain Live. And there's this common theme in these in this space right now, and one of them is banking. And this is something that I brought up a lot, which is the intersect of the digital asset exchange with banks. And so what did we see last week, or the past week and a half, maybe it's been with OCC, is the allowance of banks in the US to custody digital asset. So we start seeing this intersect, and now we start seeing a bleed over between the two. One of the things that was interesting that Kuris brings up, and I asked him, I said, what do you think? Do you think that digital asset exchanges are going to buy out banks, or will the banks begin to buy out the digital asset exchanges? Which one's going to happen first? And to me, that's a really important question, because we see some of these digital asset exchanges, and with Bitrue, they've achieved profitability within 2 years that they've been open. Celsius hasn't been around that long, doing very well. And then we get into all the other exchanges like, obviously Coinbase and Uphold and Gemini and Bitstamp that we were talking about when we first got started, which was one of the first exchanges that I had actually used for XRP, and it's a European-based exchange. I believe they were bought out. I can't remember now if it was Coinbase or Binance. One of them somebody bought out Bitstamp. Maybe it's neither one of those. But needless to say, Bitstamp was bought out. So one of the things that we're going to see in the space is that, you're going to see obviously digital asset exchanges, just like in every other space, start to buy each other out, right? So you see a consolidation in the space. You're not going to have as much riffraff out there. So if you see some of the more fledgling exchanges, if they offer 2 things potential, right? One is a customer base. The other possibility would be something unique, technologically speaking, that another exchange doesn't have yet. Now, what is the appetite of these exchanges for banking? Many of them want to get into the banking space. Many of them are already dabbling in the banking space. Many of them are dabbling in the banking space, but they don't have the banking license. So that's a really important factor, is that they have to get the banking licensing in order to be qualified and start acting as a bank. However, what's the bleed over, and this is what's interesting about it to me, is that in the beginning, think about 2010, those that were getting into Bitcoin said we're getting away from banking. But in reality, if you have a wallet, granted, you can put your wallet and keep it offline, and there's different wallet services. However, there you go. And Lionel beat me to the punch. But PolySign is a bank. Coinbase, for all intents and purposes, a bank. They're all banks essentially. So, and that's the point. that they're all banks because they're holding your digital asset and protecting your digital asset. What is up, Farshad, man? I appreciate that. Big shout out to Farshad 999. Appreciate that. I am super bullish with XRP. I believe the time is here for XRP to take the #1 spot. There you go. Farshad said it first. You guys heard it first right here on the chain. What is up? I missed. We got Bra XRP. RU42112 is in as well. And then, as we're talking, we have none other than DNI, known to others in the community as the Digital Nomad Investor. So here we go. Crypto exchange Bitstamp was acquired by Belgium-based investment firm NXMH in an all-cash deal. That was I can't remember exactly what October. That I don't know if that was this past October or a year ago October. But yeah, that was that was key. So let's see here. Grayscale has doubled its investment the last 2 days in XRP. So that's big news also. Hang on one second. All right. So we're starting to see all sorts of different movements in the space in general, which all of that's feeding on one another. So it's crazy too. You think about the overall in the space of investment. Look at what happened with Kodak, and this is the type of thing that we see happening also within the digital asset space. You see it in the stock space because you get a little bit of FOMO behind it. You get a little excitement behind it. Kodak a week ago, probably in the beginning of the week, was trading at about $2 or $3 a share. Big announcement that Kodak is going to start making pharmaceuticals. $2, $60 within a matter of a day. Then you saw a big pullback, and it settled in the 33 range, and now it's starting to get back to reality, which right now that FOMO space with that announcement means that they're going to start the production, and then you need to have some ramp up time. So the stock's going to obviously pull back and settle based on fair valuation. But you saw that FOMO space, you saw that hype, that push. Hey, what is up, Coining 203? Good to see you here, Alex. If you guys haven't seen it, last week we did a great interview with Alex, Coining 203 XRP. So go check that out on the channel as well. And we have Warhans. I just got into crypto stocks yesterday. Warhans, you're saying you just got into digital asset for your first time? That's interesting. There are so many new people that are just getting into the space right now, and they're doing their due diligence. They're learning about the digital asset space for the first time. It's interesting now, even though there's still a little bit of noise in the space on YouTube and Twitter, not as much noise as we saw back in the day. I want to say when I got in 2017, in the fall of 2017, going into 18, there was a ton of noise in the space and a lot of hype that was going on. But what is up, Farshad? Another $9.99. Appreciate the support. Outstanding. Thank you. Let's see. We've got Petke tuning in from Periscope over on Twitter. Has it been on TV news in USA that banks can custody crypto? I don't know if I don't think it hit the TV news. I haven't seen that. It's been in writing all over that was approved. That it's definitely they're definitely approved to custodying. So, all right. So let's look at this. I got this extra monitor over here thanks to Chip, and this thing I'm using it over here. Going to pull up something else, but here we go. Look at this. I'm using this this monitor. So here's what's in. This is just look at this. And it's crazy because we've seen these ups and downs before. We've seen a lot of green in the space, but it's exciting, right? I mean, here we are. We've been putting up our YouTube videos, our on the chain community gathers week after week after week, even though we've been in the red, even though it's been kind of depressing to even look and, think about where the market is. And one of the things that I don't typically do is check on pricing. And I know in the beginning when it was going parabolic in that 17, 18, 2017, 2018 period of time, it was crazy because it was like every minute, every hour, it's like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? We got to check it out. But look at this. It's exciting to see when the entire market is green, and you see the top three performers with Bitcoin hovering at 11,600. I mean, that's great. It's on its way. The whole market is on its way. And with Ethereum getting back up there, XRP is finally showing some movement, more movement than Tether, let's say. But here we are, we're getting to the 27-cent mark. And what was it, a week ago? It was at 16, 17 cents. So we see, a 10-cent gain, week over week on XRP. So, what's the difference? What's going on as a whole when we start seeing this kind of movement? The one thing that we can always point out, regardless of where we are sitting, I mean, even Litecoin here is at half a percent gain, and we're starting to see some of these others that are moving. Even Cardano here, 0.8%. But across the board, obviously there's some, higher risk investment assets in here where you can get, like 12%. I remember Zcash, everyone back, I can't even remember when it was, when everyone was talking about Zcash, but it's still there. Ontology, I can remember from way back. Dogecoin, for those of you that are new and you haven't seen the Dogecoin, but here's Dogecoin, and Dogecoin had a little ramp up. It was more of a, I think it was more of a manipulated control of a ramp up on Dogecoin a few weeks ago. But anyhow, yeah, I don't want to, bore you guys going through all of this, but just exciting to look at it. You have a couple that are in the red. This one, yeah, I don't even know what this is. Was trading at a dollar. And it's 48% drop already. Obviously, that was just. But look at this. Look how much is just green. Even if you have a little bit of a pullback on Celsius, 42 cents. This was 38 cents about a week ago. It was less than that even before then. Celsius, the Cell coin, the Cell token. Interesting. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, there's so many things in here. You guys got to definitely do your due diligence when you're looking at the tokens. I want to look for Stellar at 10 cents with a 2.9% increase. That's great. So, and that's just in the past hour. If we look at the 7-day change, look at the 7-day change with Bitcoin, 22% in the past week over week, with a 22% increase, Ethereum 27%, and XRP at a 32% increase week over week. I mean, that's unreal. It's exciting. These are exciting times, guys, to see what's going to happen. The question is, if we're in this period of time right now where kind of in that 17, 18 time frame where things get crazy, because now what happened in the 17, 18 time frame, we talked about this before, there was just so much based on speculation. So much of it was based on the FOMO. Now all of a sudden, here we are getting into it, but yet there's a more of a foundation that's been established to support the growth in this space. Now, not every one of these tokens that we're just looking at is going to amount to anything, and there's so many projects. And we do know that as we move forward, and this is a longer term investment strategy, right? As we look at any of them. So as you're coming in the market and we're seeing something significantly changing across the world, though, it's not just in the US, not just in Europe, not just in Asia, it's everywhere is feeling some changes when it comes to fiat currency. And there's this push to getting rid of fiat currency around the world and moving in this direction of an all digital space. And so we have to look at the pros and cons of what that means. One of the pros, as we get more digital, is what the blockchain digital asset space has proven all along, that it's a viable, that it is one of the, and it's really the last big asset class change because it's the newest asset class, and we haven't seen anything in the past 300 or 400 years that has really been monumental like digital asset. And it's the first time since, and I was reading somewhere, I think it was about 300 years ago when you had the advent of more cash-based currency. But even you go back to the era of the Romans and before, you have coins pressed. I have coins that I collected years and years and years ago from the Roman period, and it's amazing. So we're talking about having coins and currency, that have been, that you could hold in your hands for a couple thousand years, and now all of a sudden, we're making this transition to a digital space. Now, pros and cons, right? So in the digital space, the digital era, you're going to have maybe a little bit more transparency of what's going on. However, on the back end side of it, the negative side, so with ease of use, ease of access, transparency, all of the positives that you can get with the digital asset that can also help maybe control what governments are going to be doing in terms of endless printing of currency. That's another aspect of this. So we have to make sure that we don't just have endless printing. However, on the negative side is what we're gaining, we're also potentially losing in terms of our privacy. So that's something that we definitely have to look at and address. Think about now, if you have to register with a digital currency, CBDC, a central bank digital currency, let's say out of China, and you want to hold the digital yuan. Now, there's a footprint that's left, a trail of breadcrumbs, left with every digital asset, unless you have some of the private coin, the privacy digital assets. I just want to give a shout out here to some people that bounced in. We have Riz XRP, Gavin Williams. Good morning. Good to see you here. We are entering the start of a bull market. It's extremely exciting, definitely exciting. Warhans, I wish I got into this way earlier. I'm 27 and starting now. Hey, you know what, Warhans, I'll tell you what, you're getting in at a time that's exciting. The digital asset space has moved a little bit, but you know what's amazing? This is what's really amazing. So when I got in 2017, XRP was hovering anywhere between 19 to 24 cents. And then it went up to 26, 27 cents, kind of where it's at right now. Bitcoin, same thing. We've seen Bitcoin up and down, trending over the past year, as you've seen kind of the whole market that's pulled back. Ethereum, same thing. So none of us are really late to the game. So could we have all gotten in a couple years ago? I would have loved to have gotten in back in 2010 when Bitcoin was nothing, or get into XRP when it was trading at 6 cents or 0.006, a sixth of a cent. So, that could be amazing. However, we have to see where this market is trending right now. The market's definitely trending up. So if we look at what happened in 2017, 2018 as a point of reference, you can never really look back and say, this is what happened in 17, so this is what has to happen in 20. It doesn't work that way exactly. However, we can see what is possible. So we saw what was possible in this space. This space hasn't gone away. Now we've got 10 years of evidence to show that this space has done nothing but grow, right? And so that's what we're going to look at here. And that's where, we're definitely in the right place at the right time. So even Warhans, you're 27, you're getting in now. Now's an amazing time to be in it. So it's exciting. It's exciting. 2 years ago, it's exciting. 5 years ago, it's a hell of a lot more exciting now, because then there was nothing. The media hyped it in 17, 18. So 2 years ago, there was the media just fermented all this hype over the space. And that's where you started to see things really boom. Now we saw a retrace and a big pullback since then, but so what? It's proof. Now here's what we need to look at. Let me pull this up, and we're going to use what are we going to use to show this one? Here, I'm going to do this one. I like this one. Hang on a second. Chip, what is up? Co-host of On the Chain, Steven. Chip, where are you? I saw you bounce. There you are. There he is. Lionel, Bank of America released a digital wallet. Can't be too far away from announcement. There you go. So you're starting to see them get in. And as I was saying before, here's what I was talking about earlier. And if you go back and watch our video with Curris, is that with what Bitrue is looking at, what Celsius is looking at, what Coinbase is looking at, what all of them are looking at is getting into the banking space. But the one thing that Curris had mentioned that I thought was really interesting, again, when I asked that question, who do you think is going to buy who first? The banks buy the digital asset exchanges, or the digital asset exchanges buying the banks? He said he thought the digital asset exchanges would start buying banks first. And the reason why he thought so is because banks move too slowly. The digital asset exchanges are very fluent. They're fluid. They can move very quickly. And in this space that changes rapidly, you need to be able to move quickly. The other part of it is there's a shit ton of money that's pouring into the digital asset space, or will, but there's a lot of profit. Plus, they're not heavy. You look at the banks and they're heavy with from a human resources perspective. They're heavy with an extension of capital around the world. So it's a very heavy organization. Same reason why, when we look at what Ripple was doing in the banking space, there's no magic switch that all of a sudden they come up with this amazing idea and it just gets turned on and everything starts flowing through the space. It doesn't work that way because banks are extremely, extremely slow moving. Think about, they have so many legacy systems, software wise, computer wise, running in the banking space. So it takes time for them, to do anything, even upgrading their platforms. So once you get that, momentum going, and we're starting to see it from a global perspective because the governments, the central banks, everybody is awakening to this idea. Now there's this mad rush to see who's going to put the central bank, centralized, controlled by the government's digital asset in. But again, what we were saying before is the pros and cons. There's always going to be something that could be sacrificed. So check, yeah. So they used MS Excel 2003 to 2014 in banking space. And WB, it's an old oil tanker versus a speedboat analogy. I like that. And there's a purpose as to why they have to move slow. And you even think about it from a financial institution. If you look at the big funds, the big mutual funds, and you look, you start tracking the movement of the big financial institutions as they buy in or sell out of certain funds. They don't sell out rapidly, because if they do, it crashes the market. They don't buy in rapidly because it'll prematurely inflate the price. So if they're putting money in, they do it slow. So I like that analogy, the oil tanker analogy, just like the funds, slowly but surely they get in and then they set their course. With the speedboats, you have these day traders that are popping in and out, and they're taking advantage of little movements that banks can't do. But in this scenario as well, as far as how nimble one can be, I think that's perfect. What is up all the way from Philly? We got Stottle over here. We got, let's see here. We got Michael Odo. Queen Elizabeth elite guards have been caught with what? Is that true? That's insane. All right, so what do we got going on here? Chip, you got wind over there? Man, I was outside. I got nothing. There's nothing going on over here. Zero wind, zero excitement. We had a little bit of rain, but here's what's crazy. Kind of as a sidetrack to this conversation we're talking. Let's talk about the hurricane real quick. But there's a storm that's brewing off the coast of Florida that's sitting in the Bahamas right now. Came in as a tropical depression, moved to a Category 1. Was announced that it might even be a Category 2 right now. as it sits over the Bahamas. Initially, it was moving rapidly, it was moving really quickly, and now not so much. Now it's not really moving at the speed it was like 22 miles an hour. Then it's got over the Bahamas, boom, dropped down to about 12 miles an hour, sitting there churning and gaining some steam. So whether it comes here to South Florida or it just heads north, maybe North Carolina will be better able to handle it as it goes up there. But it's really interesting. Huh. I'm gonna get to that comment in a second. But Michael Otto, I gotta pull this up. That's insane. I got to check this out. What's going on in the UK in their palace? That's insane. What is up, Carl Wagner? Really good to see you here. I'm glad you stopped by. I haven't seen you in a little while. We got freaking Clutch over here. uh, he's only an ADA supporter now for the most part. I have no idea. No clue. Don't. I have no clue. Any don't. No idea. I don't know. Man, Riz XRP was in the area when Andrew came through. Hurricane Andrew, if you guys don't know, when it came through, it literally, that was 92, wiped out entire neighborhoods where nothing was left. And they changed the building standards and codes after that period of time, but it was devastating in one little area of Miami. Just wiped it out. Not in other areas. So here we go. So this is a great question. Let's sidetrack into this question here from Warhans. Warhans is relatively new to the space, starting to learn about what's going on here. So what is, our opinion on buying crypto on sites like Robinhood? Now, there's definitely a distinction, and I'll tell you, I like Robinhood. It's a good platform. I've bought and sold stocks on Robinhood. I've bought and sold some digital asset on Robinhood. However, there's a clear distinction between holding your digital asset and using Robinhood. Because if you use a platform like Coinbase or Uphold or one of the others, and I would highly recommend that anybody new go and do a little bit of research, but go check out Coinbase, go check out Uphold, mainly because in that environment, that digital asset belongs to you. So if you buy it on Coinbase, you can move it to Uphold. You can do whatever you want to do with it. Robinhood, you actually don't own that digital asset. They're holding and buying the digital asset for you. It's just a representation of a digital asset. You're investing in the digital asset. It can't be transferred because you don't actually own it. You don't own the key, I should say, to that digital asset. So although you have a representation that you have, let's say, 5 Bitcoin or 1 Bitcoin, or whatever, you can't. It doesn't belong to you. You can buy it on Robinhood. You can sell it on Robinhood. That's it. You're just trading it. So if you feel comfortable doing it that way, and I do believe that as we see the changes and banks starting to custody digital asset, for mainstream to get into the investment in the digital asset space, they're not necessarily going to be holding the keys like we all have for all these years getting into it. We're going to see a transition as the bank's custody or as some of these platforms custody. You're going to buy like on a Robinhood. It's just a representation of, but you can't actually move it. And maybe they'll change that. So if they're if you have the custody, like for instance, Coinbase is working with JP Morgan. And so in that scenario, let's say, you have to custody the digital asset. You want it to be, you want to be able to move it around and have some control over it. But I have a feeling that we're going to start seeing, changes in how people foresee that. But that also goes back to the question, who buys who first? Does the digital asset exchange buy the bank? My opinion is that we're going to see the digital asset exchanges buying banks faster than the banks are going to buy digital asset exchanges. However, it's a battle, right? So if you have a Coinbase or an Uphold, their valuation could be pretty significant. Now, the question is, does the bank have enough capital to buy and invest, or does the exchange have the capital to buy the bank? It's going to be interesting. One of the things that Alex Mashinsky has told us in one of the previous interviews, and you guys got to go check that one out. I think it was on our other channel on the chain. You can go check out everything in the description below. We have links to the other channel. But he had said to us that the Titans of tomorrow are going to be completely different than the Titans of today. Meaning that those the big banks, the big business owners, you're starting to see a transition. It happens. So as we see a change because of this issue that we've all been facing on a global scale, this viral issue, it obviously had an impact on economies. It also was kind of an awakening to whether or not people need, to whether or not people actually need the physical office space. So you're seeing a pullback there. You're seeing a lot of retail businesses that are filing for bankruptcy, mainly because they're too heavy. We were talking about that before. They're too weighted down by fixed assets. And so when we get into a digital economy, like look at Amazon. Amazon, has distribution centers, but there's no outlet stores, so the outlet stores are heavy. The employment for that's heavy, but Amazon grows and expands to support its online experience. Although they did buy Whole Foods, but that's an example of where it could get heavy. But food shopping, might not necessarily be 100% appropriate, 100% online either. So there's the dynamics there, but it's so amazing. It really is so amazing. There's some great comments in here. It's great. I see so many new faces, so many new names that are commenting here. Mike G, what's up, man? Been a little while. We got Kelly Slade on here as well, popped in. So Jamaican XRP, what is going on? Good to see you. What do I think about Uphold? And that's interesting. I like Uphold, and James had said the same thing. He loves Uphold. Uphold is a really, really cool exchange. It's easy to use. It's not a trading platform like a Coinbase, but you can exchange your digital asset rapidly. You can easily move between. So you can, and that's a great part about it. If you wanted to move your XRP to Bitcoin, Bitcoin to XRP, US dollar, if you want to hold in euro, if you want to hold a representation in gold, whatever it is, you can have that on the Uphold platform. So Uphold is really, really cool. James is pointing out Bitrue. He likes Bitrue a lot. You guys got to just do a little bit of your own research when you get into the exchanges and figure out, what's what. But Warhands, I know they're both profitable, but if I'm going to invest K a week, what would be a smarter move? As far as exchanges, if you're going to put money into an exchange, I would recommend, you got to do what you're comfortable with. Obviously, if you're investing in, let's say you're using Robinhood, again, it has its pros and cons. Coinbase has been great. Uphold has been great. I would recommend using, if you want to try, you got to try them. You got to figure out what you're most comfortable with. But Uphold and Coinbase are the two largest in the U.S. Stick to U.S.-based exchanges if you're in the U.S. That's my recommendation. That's the one point that I'll make on it. We don't benefit one way or the other from any of the exchanges, other than talking about them. So here's something else. You guys got to check it out. When you go and watch the interview we did with Curtis Wang, check out the compliments that he gave to Chip and I. It was outstanding. We did some really deep dive into the website, into some of the verbiage they used, into some of the back end. They made changes to their platform and to the website based on feedback that Chip and I gave. I was just really pleased that, to hear that. We got, a big, thank you, a big gratitude coming from Bitrue. We had given feedback to multiple groups out there. There's another group out there, X Network. We're going to have them back on here if you guys haven't seen X Network. But we're going to bring Guillaume from X Network back on to talk to them, see what they're doing on their platform. And they'd also made some changes and modifications to the website based on some of our feedback. But it's been outstanding seeing what's going on. But Chip, let's see. Coinbase, Uphold, and Binance.us are US based. Out of them, my preference, I like Coinbase and Uphold. I use both of them. And that's what I would recommend. Binance is limiting because, like James is saying, not in Texas. So make sure you focus on, look at what's possible in your neighborhood. It's not so easy. To those that are new, it's not so easy in some of these states to actually get access to the approvals, the state approvals to operate there. So that's what some of them are working through. Let's see, WB, Gemini, and pull your cryptocurrency off to your own hardware wallet every time. Gemini has a hard to get New York license, so they're regulated somewhat. There is some oversight. Yeah, so there's another one. Yes, they have Gemini, Coinbase, Uphold. I would stick to those three if you're in the U.S. And what he's talking about here with the hardware wallet is an example. You have the ledgers. So there's some hardware wallets. Don't buy them on Amazon. If you buy a hardware wallet, buy them from the legitimate website. Do not buy a hardware wallet on Amazon because you have no idea what you're going to get. That I'm gonna point that out. There was a time we would talk about all of those different hardware wallets. I think it's probably time that we bring that back and we start talking about for some of the new blood in the space and really drilling down and talking about all the different aspects of investing in the digital asset space. There's so much to learn, but you've got some phenomenal resources out there right now. And as you can see, there's a ton of people in this space that know a ton about it. So WB directly from Ledger. Let me look this up for you guys real quick. Let's see. You have the Ledger hardware wallet. So I'm going to just pull it up real quick. So if you go to, you can check it out on Chip. Check it out. I'm using the other monitor. So if you go to ledger.com, you can see the different ledgers that they have. And oh, look at this. I think I might have to get a new one. Check it out. These look pretty. These have updated a little bit. I like that. I like that. So it looks new. The screen here looks new. The new generation hardware wallet. So if you're going to hold your digital asset, but this is my point, I guess. Those that have been in this a long time, we've been pulling the majority of holdings offline and putting them on hardware wallets like this. The hardware wallet is basically a key to your digital asset. And then they give you your pass phrases and all this stuff that you could that you store offline. And it's basically allowing you to protect your digital asset offline in a cold storage type environment. Because the keys are offline. Now, I think that's really interesting. Crypto Popo, what is up? Good to see you here. I ordered a couple from Ledger. I don't even know what they cost now. They used to cost what, like $100? And it's interesting. You're first getting into digital asset, and you're like, oh, I'm only going to put $100, $200, $1,000 on it. Then you say, well, should I be spending $100 on a? Let me see if they have it. I don't know. I don't see it here, but it's really cool. So I'm definitely getting a new one. And you can see, that you can now manage it. It looks like right through your phone, through Ledger Live. I like that. I like the Ledger Live. That's really cool. I still have the old one, a couple of them. And so this one looks a lot nicer because it connects via Bluetooth to your phone. Don't carry that around with you and check. Oh, there is the price. I totally didn't even see that. It's $119 now. So $120 to secure your own digital asset. Definitely worth it if you're going to be doing this long term and you want to move it off. Now, I believe there's security with Coinbase and security with Uphold. And nothing's 100% secure. But of the exchanges that are out there, those are two that I feel the most comfortable with. Oh, I didn't see that. WB, pull that up. The Nano S, that's, I didn't even look at that one. So the Nano S is the original, right? Yeah, the Nano S is the original one, and it's only $60. So yeah, it's not a lot. $59 to protect your assets. And what you end up doing, you move the your digital assets over to your ledger. And you have the ledger address, and then the ledger is your key. You have to plug it in to access everything. So really good way to protect and be secure. Thanks for throwing that out there, WB. Warhans, boom, there you go. You just got 3 Ethereum from Coinbase. You're gonna love Coinbase. It's awesome. You know, I like using Coinbase. So, do you buy through Coinbase? Coinbase is great. You know, Coinbase, Uphold. Those that can use Binance.us. There's quite a few people that like using BitTrue and have great experience using BitTrue. So you have a lot of different options out there. Morton over here, waiting for BitGo or PolySign to release their solution before getting going for a hardware wallet. The instructions will demand some sort of hardware solution. Or the institutions, the instructions. I think you're right. You know, from that perspective, I believe that institutions. I don't know. I don't remember how many years this goes back. There was a time where banks would give you a little key fob that had a code in it, and then you use that as a security code that was constantly generating. And it's similar kind of concept to access banking. But I believe same thing. I think mainstream adoption. What's key with mainstream adoption is that mainstream isn't going to use these ledgers and all these other things if they have to go to a website and buy it. Banks, digital asset exchanges are going to have their own. I believe that. I believe that is like the next phase. So a Coinbase will have to have their own hardware wallet. They say you want an extra layer of security on Coinbase. Here's our Coinbase hardware wallet. Uphold, same thing. Binance, same thing, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to start seeing that movement. I do believe that as well. I think that's important. Right. Let's see here. Chip, I cannot click on that link. Hang on a second. Let's pull this up. What does that say? Elipal? Elipal.com. Elipal Titan. I don't know what this is, Chip. It's another wallet. Let's pull this up. Here we go. Let me get rid of you. All right, there it is. There's another one, another cold wallet, not just a hardware wallet. Interesting. So there's another one. So you've got that here as well. Really interesting. All right, very cool. Yep, that's interesting. Let's see here. So we've got here. I'm just looking for some of these other comments here. I like the fact that Uphold have a debit card you can use your capital anytime. Yeah, I think that's going to be interesting too. You know, it's going to be. It says $139 for the Elipal. Cold wallet, anti-tamper, air gapped, anti-disassembly. The Elipal Titan is 100% air gapped offline device. It keeps your private key secure from online and offline attacks. It's one of the most secure cold storage devices in the market. To send Bitcoin and other crypto, simply create a transaction on the Elipal app, sign securely with Elipal Titan. Interesting. It has a camera built in. Payment options. You can buy it. Where's it made? That's the number one question right now on Amazon. Where is it made? Where is the Elipal made? I don't think so, Chip. Sorry, Chip. Sounds like a great thing. I am going to pass. I am going to pass. This is where it's made. I won't be getting it. So this one, their primary address over in Hong Kong. Not knocking Hong Kong in any way, shape, or form. However, with things that we kind of know that go on, I'm no, it's not Singapore. So I'm going to stay away from it for the time being. If this was made in the U.S., from a security perspective, I would have less concern about getting it if it's made over in France and Europe, elsewhere. But anything electronic right now, especially something like that, that has any potential or possibility of of Chinese government oversight, which they do. Once a corporation gets to a certain size, the Chinese government does have some level of oversight over those companies. So I'll be skipping that for right now. What is up, Rough Rican? Man, thank you for that. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the huge super sticker there. Fantastic. Awesome. Um, let's see. Uh, just going through some of these comments here. All right. Boom. Let's see here. Here we go. There's another one on exchanges. Coinbase Vault is great as well. You need 2 emails. So let's see. Morons. I'm looking at Coinbase. There's so many coins I never even heard of. That's true. There's a ton to research. A lot to research. When you get into it, here's another one. Always do a factory reset when receiving a hardware wallet. Another a great point. Even if you get it right from the factory, really solid point. Because we definitely have concern. Anyone can try to circumvent and cheat. And being that so, it could be somebody else's holding, the passphrases, and you don't want that to happen. Crypto Popo, what you don't want, your keys held by Chairman Z. Yeah, exactly. That's probably not what we want. Yeah. So anyhow, there's where we got there. What do we have here? Jamaican XRP. I'm not trusting nothing that's not made in the U.S. no more. It's tough, man. It's really tough. Especially when we look at what's going on, from that level. And there was a big announcement that TikTok might be blocked and banned from the U.S. pretty soon. But there's enough evidence to show that there's issues going on. DJI, I feel really bad. A buddy of mine just bought a DJI product, but DJI is another one. The DJI drones have been shown to have a back door to the security for the main company over in China to actually use and log into the cameras. And DJI was donating a large number of drones to police departments around the U.S. And so they nixed the use of those products, just as an example. So just something would want to point out. Not trying to knock anything or anybody. That's just my personal experience, opinion and experience. So just we'll leave it at that. So something else here I wanted to show you guys real quick. I wanted to let me bounce over here. So check out onthechain.io, because when you go to onthechain.io, the one thing that you're going to find is that it is a place to watch and learn about everything blockchain. And so what you're going to see here, we're finally making some changes here. We had to get a new software to really help facilitate the posting of our videos over on this platform. We have some other great things that are going to be coming soon. But what you're going to see here is that you go to On the Chain Live, and boom, here's our past videos from On the Chain Live in order. So you're going to see this one that we're doing right now is going to pop up. Here's Alex Mashinsky. You go check that out. I don't know. I'm missing a thumbnail on this one. But you'll see some great things here. Man, there's lots and lots of great videos on the Chain Live. A lot of great people with Crypto Eddie. You got David Gokhshtein here. You got Tony from and then you got the videos with Alex Mashinsky. So Jerry Coffin from Library. Lots and lots of great stuff here. If DNI is still here, you guys might have remembered DNI and I were doing some deep dive episodes together. So just a lot of great videos here. There's 2 channels. So you go down here. I'm wondering, was there a link at the top, Chip? Can we get to the 2 channels from the top? Oh, not yet. So eventually, well, there should be a link here where you can actually go and access the 2 channels quickly. But here you go, on the chain. So you go to onthechain.io and you can find all of our videos. But here's the last video we did that we posted with Curtis Wang. Here's Chip talking about Pay ID. We got some great videos over here. So this is the one I was talking about earlier with Alex Mashinsky. Definitely highly recommend you guys go and talk about, or go back and watch that one. This one was more about, you know, kind of an uplifting kind of video, following your passion. Really like that conversation. I would highly recommend you guys go and watch that one. So we got just lots of stuff that went on here. You know, here's another one with Curtis Wang over here. Was a really good video. So anyhow, this is just outstanding. Oh, here we go, on the chain, and we go back to on the chain live. There you go. So I guess I was scrolling through these, and there was some good stuff here. Lot of good conversations. So anyhow, I get sucked into looking back and looking at the video. So onthechain.io, you can check that out. We will be incorporating some other features into the website in the near future. So keep going back, checking that out. Appreciate it, Riz, OTC, great content, guys. Really appreciate that. That's awesome. We've got Rex 007. Good to see her. XRP prices 3 cents up, and all these. Oh, nice. Yeah, appreciate that one, Rex. It does mean you know, and it's not just up 3 cents, Rex. It's actually up 10 cents since last week. So we definitely you know, have some big movements, some big trends across the board. So Serdan, oh, we're to the drones. All right, cool. So that's it, man. This is it. This is a great conversation today. We're coming up on the hour. It's outstanding. Really appreciate everybody here. Appreciate Ruff Regan. Appreciate Farshad for your support. This is great, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys back on again. We do have a roundtable discussion coming up tomorrow night, Sunday. As long as we have power and the storm doesn't come here in the next couple hours and knock our power out, we'll be able to record for our Sunday night roundtable. And so that's going to be tomorrow night at 8 p.m. With a roundtable, Chip and I. Next weekend, next Saturday, right back here, the HODL review, 8 or 8:30 a.m. on Saturday. So that's it, guys. I think we are almost out of here. I just got to do one last thing before I take us out, and this is it.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.